Dr. Melissa here, and today we are doing a yoga class for psoas muscle. If you find that you've been stretching and stretching the front of that hip and that tightness isn't going anywhere, stop stretching it. We're gonna go over exactly what you need to do to get rid of that hip flexor tightness feeling. Go grab your mats and let's do this. All right, before we get started, I'm gonna have you just take a couple of gentle breaths. As you'll see, breathing is so important throughout today's practice to really help loosen up that hip. You're gonna take your hands, place them at the bottom of your rib cage, and just take some gentle breaths in, breathing out to the side, and exhale, letting it go. This is gonna help affect our nervous system, and that could be what's causing some of that tightness that you're feeling. So a lot of the techniques we're gonna do today is to help calm that nervous system down. So you're gonna breathe out to the sides, and then exhale, gently let it go. Make sure you're not breathing into your chest, that we're sending it out to the side. And you wanna continue this throughout our practice today. So the first, we're gonna grab the center and we're going to loosen up the pathway at the front of our hip here. We're gonna place the ball kind of going at a diagonal towards our belly button. We're gonna lay on our stomach. We can start on our left side. You might have to kind of wiggle up or down. You can bend that left knee up. You can stay propped up on your elbows. You can kind of relax all the way down. You can have that leg straighter. But I just want you taking gentle breaths, breathing out to the side, and exhale, gently letting it go. You might find it's helpful to kind of do some just gentle movements going back and forth, but we want to make sure we're not gripping and holding anything really tight. Being gentle here is key, because we want to keep helping to loosen up and calm down that nervous system. So those gentle breaths, check in with the shoulders, relax your shoulders, try to relax those hips. Take one more breath where you're at, and then we're just gonna start to move the ball a little bit more towards your belly button, and we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. You wanna be really careful not to overdo anything. 30 to 60 seconds is plenty. Nice, gentle breaths, just gently going back and forth. And then you also wanna check in, noticing left side versus your right side. Good, one more breath in here. Push that ball, push your stomach into the ball, and then exhale, let your stomach kind of sink into that ball. Good. Now we'll come off that, we're just gonna switch to the other side. So again, you're gonna find that bone in the front of your pelvis, place the ball just to the inside, and then we're going at the diagonal towards your belly button. So just switch it over towards the right. That right knee, you can bend it up, you can have it straight, propped on the elbows, come down. It's really about listening to your body and what feels best for it versus trying to force itself into any particular position. The more you listen to it, the better it behaves. Just calming that nervous system down. Checking in to make sure when we find a spot, we don't tense and grip, just easing and softening your way in. So that same thing, you can just kind of do gentle rocks back and forth, use your breath. Good, gently rocking in and out. You can kind of work your way towards your belly button. Same thing, finding those spots as you breathe in. You push the stomach into the ball. As you exhale, let that ball sink in towards your stomach. Nice and gentle. Keep easing in. Might feel better to stay still, might feel better to move a little bit. And then again, how does the right side feel compared to your left side? Nice, gentle breath in. Exhale, let go. We're gonna take one more breath here. Exhale, let that go. Good. And then let's take that ball out, move it off towards the side, come onto your back. And just check in again for a moment with your breath. Keep coming back to your breath. Has it changed? Maybe you already noticed that tightness in the front of the hip feels like it's starting to go away. Okay, we're gonna grab the recovery rounds for our next one. We're gonna work on the outside of our glutes. So you're gonna take the rad recovery balls, find that hip bone and then just gently move 2 to 3 inches to the side. And then what we're gonna do is we'll start on the right side. So take that right ankle to the top of your left knee, and you're just gonna gently rock back and forth. You'll notice all these lovely little trigger points along the top of our glutes. And stay with that breath. We're just shifting our hips from side to side. If you find a lovely spot, you can just kind of stay there, ease into it, soften, use the breath. We're trying to push the right knee down, kind of stay open through those hips. And just gently rocking back and forth. Soften those shoulders, going as it feels comfortable. Maybe you slow it down, maybe you hold. Just keep using your breath to ease into it. The same thing, 30, 60 seconds. We don't want to stay too long because that can overhydrate and just make things stiffer. We don't want to increase any tightness here. Nice, gentle breath. Good. We'll take one more breath in here. Exhale, let it go. And then we've got the other side. So we'll take the balls, same thing on that left side. Find that bone on the side of your hip, 2 to 3 inches to the side on the left side. And then you'll take that left ankle to your right knee. Push the knee down towards the ground, and we're just kind of rolling along the tops of your glutes, going back and forth. Those lovely little trigger points. Keep pushing that left knee down towards the ground, and the shoulders stay nice and relaxed. Keep coming back to our breath. The breath is a really important piece in helping calming down our nervous system. If you're feeling stressed, if you've been sitting a lot during the day, if you're not getting enough sleep, it doesn't let our body come back into that rest and digest phase. So using your breath in just 60 seconds can be such a powerful tool to kind of bring it back down, which helps with tightness feeling. Good. If you find a spot, maybe you hold it. Let it go. And again, you're noticing differences. Left side, right side. What side feels tighter? When we do a little bit of the strengthening and that active mobility, can you find those correlations between the two sides? Good. Awesome. Let's take one more breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Awesome. And then we'll gently come off the balls. And then the next muscle we're gonna work on is our rectus femoris. So one of our quad muscles, it comes straight up the middle of your thigh. We're doing this one because the top parts of the fibers attach into the front part of our hip joint. So we're gonna take the rad round. We'll start on our left side. We're gonna start just above the kneecap. So you'll place that ball right in front of your knee. Come down onto those forearms. Take your right knee out towards the side and then lower down onto that ball. Ooh. We want to stay right up the center of the thigh, and you're gonna look till you find like, oh yeah, that's a good spot. You might just hold here. That might be enough of an intensity. If you want to add on a little bit more, you can bend your knee and then straighten it. A little bend and straighten. Continue to stay with your breath. Keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Just keep softening into that. Best you can. Maybe you can laugh or smile your way through it, but finding those lovely spots, I find this is a great one when working with a lot of my clients with that tightness in the front of their hip. Good. Now we're gonna go down. The ball is gonna scoot up, staying straight on the thigh, and then we're gonna bend and straighten again. Is it more tense feeling down towards the knee? Is it getting more tense as you get closer towards your thigh and your hip? Same thing, we're gonna do about 5 or 6 bends of the knee, and then we're gonna move up one more time closer up towards your hip. Trying to stay nice and relaxed here. Ooh. Awesome. Okay, now we're gonna scoot down. Ball's gonna come up and roll till you find that spot. And then the same thing, kind of bend and straighten. Stay with your breath, gentle breaths. Stay nice and soft. Good job. Great, one more here. And then we'll come off it, it'll feel really good. And then I just want you to kind of take a seat and observe. Observe what you feel on the left side compared to your right side. Maybe some more warmth to the tissue. Maybe you notice a difference in that tightness and the feeling of the front of the hip. See how that continues to build throughout our class today. And now we get to do it on the other side. So you're gonna just take that rad recovery ball, place it in the front of the right knee. We'll come forward, take your left leg out to the side, and then lower yourself down. So it's staying straight in the center of that leg. It can be enough to just hold and breathe and soften into it, or maybe we're gonna bend and straighten. A little bend and straighten. Good, use that breath. Gently moving in and out. And how does this feel compared to your other side? What are you noticing? Good, now we're gonna scoot down. That ball is kind of mid-thigh now. Same thing, bend and straighten. Soften the breath. Opening up. Good, one more breath here. And then we're gonna scoot down. Ball comes up closer towards the hip, staying straight in that thigh. And the same thing, kind of bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Now, the other exercises that we did, is it the same side that you notice the tightness? Maybe it feels about the same on both, but just keep tapping into how your body's feeling, listening to how it's moving, and that's gonna help you with all the activities that you're doing. You're really focusing on what muscles you feel activating, what muscles are loosening up, and paying attention to how you're doing them. And the breath is key with this. Awesome. All right, come on off of that. And again, just kind of pause for a moment. What do you notice? Left side versus your right side. We've been talking about calming our nervous system down. We use the RAD tools to help that. Now we're gonna do a couple different mobility exercises to calm down the nervous system some more. So we'll do some thoracic nerve glides. And a nerve glide, we'll take our right leg out in front. You have a shorter stance. So maybe you've been used to like stretching and it's just not helping. We're going to really tuck the left hip underneath, and you're gonna squeeze your left glute. We're gonna get the rib cage dropping down, and we're active pressing down into both of our feet. Then take your right hand to the inside of your right thigh, and then lift up and over. And then pull yourself, come back up. Bend to the right hand side, stretch those arms in opposite directions, and then pull yourself up. It's really important to keep the tuck and squeeze that glute. Bend and reach. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, bend to the side. And you're thinking of taking that left side of your rib cage and just pushing it off towards the side. Good. Now this might feel good, and you want to stay here and continuing the nerve glide like this. If you want to add on, you can take those hands behind the back of your head, keep that tuck of the hip, press the feet down, same thing, just bend to the side. And then come back up. Really active in those feet. Squeeze your left glute. Nice work. We're gonna, wherever one you're doing, we've got 3, 2, 1 more. Good, bring it back up. And then we're just gonna switch to the other side. So take that left foot out. It's not a really big wide stance. We're taking the right hip, tuck your right hip underneath. Squeeze that right glute. And it might be easier to kind of squeeze that glute and keep it tucked if you curl your toes underneath. See what feels best. We're gonna take that left hand to the inside. Right arm reaches up overhead and bend to the side. And then pull yourself up. A little bend to the side. Reach through those fingers and just noticing what you're feeling in the front of that hip. We're still breathing out to the sides of our rib cage. How does this side feel compared to the other side? Stay active in those feet. Nice work. Now you can stay here, or if you wanted to add on, you can bring those hands behind the back of your head. Keep tucking that hip underneath, and we're gonna bend off to the left, and then come back up. Now maybe you wanna add a little bend and a twist, and then come back up. Bend and twist. Just noticing how things maybe change. Good, keep pressing those feet into the ground. Good, wherever we're at, we're 3, 2, last 1. Awesome, pull yourself, come back up, and then we're gonna come down sitting on the ground. One of the positions I love the most to work on mobility in our hips is this 90-90 position. So we'll start with that right leg in front. You wanna line the sole of your right foot up with that left thigh. You might be kind of shifted one side to the other. Goal is to try to get both sit bones down on the ground. It might be helpful if you have a pillow to prop yourself underneath. You could try sitting on the center ball just to give yourself a little bit more room if it's uncomfortable. And then we're gonna bring our hands in towards the heart center. Really active with your knees, pushing your knees into the ground. You're gonna feel it around the hip. We're gonna turn to the right hand side, so that right leg's in front, turning to the right, and then actively hinge at your hips. Fold forward, push those knees towards the ground. Keep the back nice and flat. Keep pushing the knees down. Inhale, come back up. We're gonna take the left leg, send your left leg out straight, hinge forward, and then from here, you might need to use your hands, but we're gonna push ourselves, come all the way up. Lengthening up, fold forward. So we're gonna send the hips back, hands come down towards the ground, and then walk them over towards that left hand side. So you'll feel a nice inner thigh stretch on that left hand side. Breathe into the side of your rib cage. Inhale, walk the hands back towards center, press into the hips, come back up. And then we're gonna slowly, as you can, lower all the way down. Take that left leg back behind you. Press the palms again, and we're just gonna repeat. Knees pushing down towards the ground. Rotate towards the side. Keep lengthening through your spine. You're gonna fold forward. Knees are nice and active, so you'll start to feel the muscles around your hip firing up, gaining mobility and stability, and working on that nervous system. Good, bring it back up. Take your left leg, kick your left leg out. Lengthen out through that heel. Nice big breath. Slowly lean forward. If you need to use those hands, definitely use your hands. Prop yourself, come up. Nice, slow, and controlled. You're gonna fold yourself forward, hands come down towards the ground. And then walk the hands over towards that left hand side. Reach through the fingertips, sink the hips, feel a nice gentle stretch on the inside of that left hip. Bring it back through towards center. Press into those hips, lift up, and then we'll slowly sink it back down. Nice work, see how controlled you can go. Left leg comes back behind. Push the knees down in towards the ground. Exhale, fold forward. We're just gonna go through one more time, and then we get to do it on the other side. Good. Pull yourself, come back up. That left leg is gonna go straight out in front. Lengthen through the left leg. Push into your feet, come all the way up. Nice, slow, controlled, use the breath. Fold it forward, hands come down towards the ground. Sink those hips back. Walk the hands over towards that left hand side. Maybe noticing each time you can get a little bit further, all the muscles around the hip firing up. Bring it back through towards center. Pull yourself, come up, and as slow as you possibly can, sink those hips, bring it back down. Good. And then we're just gonna switch other side. So the left leg comes in front. Set yourself up. If you need something propped underneath, go ahead and grab that. And just check, how's the left side feeling compared to the right side? What's going on in the front of our hips? We're actively pushing the knees down in towards the ground, lengthen up. Fold forward over that front thigh. Bring yourself, come back up, take your right leg, kick your right leg straight out in front. Press through the heel, lengthen up, and then we're gonna pull ourselves, come forward, come all the way up. Hands come down towards the ground. I'm just gonna scoot back a little. Sink the hips, walk the hands over towards that right hand side. Lengthen out, nice, gentle breath. What side's tighter? What are you feeling on that right inner thigh? Back towards center, pull yourself, come up. We'll slowly lower down. Bring your right leg back behind you, press the knees, turn to the left, lengthen through the spine, fold it forward, and then pull yourself, come back up. Right leg goes out, lengthen out through the heel, press into those hips, lift up, and then fold forward. Walk those hands over towards that right hand side. Nice breath in. Exhale, let it go. Back through to center. Come all the way up. We've got one more time. Going through. Scoot that right leg back in. Twist to the left. Fold it forward. Inhale, lift up. Take your right leg, kick that right leg out. Press into those hips, lift all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Walk those hands over towards the right hand side. Nice big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Back through towards center. Pull yourself, come up. Sink those hips back. And then just find comfortable seated position. Noticing left side, right side, what are you feeling in front of your hips, and how powerful your breath can be to help calm that nervous system down, to get rid of that tightness in the front of your hip. Awesome job with those exercises. Hopefully the front of your hip is feeling less tight. Remember to keep using the power of your breath and tap into your nervous system. If you're wanting to learn more about how your body works, building strength, stability, using the power of your breath, go ahead and check out the description down below for the Reframe Collective, where I teach weekly live classes and go over exactly that. I would also love to know down below in the comments if you want to see more videos on the hip. Until next time, namaste.